build the desolate places.
They rebuilt as the Khazars. They came out as the Khazars during the Renaissance period. Go ahead.
Thus saith the Lord of hosts, they shall build.
I should say as the Khazars and then during the Renaissance. Go ahead.
But I will throw down, and they shall call them the border of wickedness.
They shall call them, meaning Esau, Edom, they shall call them the border of wickedness. Go ahead.
And the people against whom the Lord have indignation forever.
Notice it says the people, not the person. The people whom the Lord has indignation against forever. Indignation means righteous anger forever. Let's go back to the book. And let's start again about if.
Yes, sir. If God hated you and your ancestors, how would
See, that's why it says ancestor, because it ain't just Esau himself, the individual, but his people. Read it again.
If God hated you and your ancestors, how would you react and what would you do? By natural reaction, you would be against God.
By natural reaction, you would be against God.
And his people.
And his people, meaning us.
And try to prevent them from finding out you are Esau.
And they would do everything they could do to prevent us from finding out that they were the Edomites, the children of Esau. Go ahead.
The one God is against, knowing that if God is against something, so will his followers.
Uh-oh. Go ahead.
Who is it that tries to conceal their identity as Edom? The one hated by God, by claiming to be Israel.
By claiming what?
To be Israel.
So Edom would claim to be Israel. Go ahead.
The one loved by God. Only one group of people reacts as though God has a hatred for them. That is the Jews.
That is the Jews. White folks. Go ahead.
Why do you suppose the Jews form organizations such as the Anti-Defamation League?
Oh, okay. Wait a minute. Read that again.
Why do you suppose the Jews form organizations such as the Anti-Defamation League to monitor and combat hate and to identify hate groups?
Oh, you're a hate group. That's what they do. But they're the true haters. Go ahead.
Would not Esau want to do this? Why is it that it is predominantly Jews who promote the anti-hate laws and other hate crime legislation? If you were Esau Edom, would you not do the same? An Edomite would also want to infiltrate churches.
So an Edomite would also want to infiltrate churches. What would they do in the church? Come on, next page. Zoom in.
And seminaries to get God's people to believe that there is no God of hate.
God don't hate nobody. He's all about love. That campaign makes it easy for them to say, oh, you Romans 9, you're a hater, you're a racist. That's what they do. Go ahead.
And seminaries to get God's people to believe that there is no God of hate, only a God of love and mercy. The Jews have done just that in Christendom.
The Jews have done just that in Christendom. Now, how did the ADL start? That's my question. How did the ADL start? Give me the next picture. Now, y'all may know this, but those of you at home, here's how the Anti-Defamation League got started. There was a so-called Jewish man named Leo Frank. He was the superintendent of a factory. We had a lot of workers. He had a couple of black people, these two that you see here, Jim Conley, he was a janitor of the factory, and you had Newt Lee, night watchman of the factory. Well, something happened. A young white girl named Mary Fagan was raped, horribly raped and murdered. Jim Conley in the center says, hey, it was Leo Frank that did it. All the workers testified against Leo Frank. Guess who Leo Frank said it was? Jim Conley. He said, no, it was Jim Conley. It wasn't me, it was Jim Conley. Give me the next page. Go ahead, read that.
The Tennessean, and an innocent man was lynched.
So, Jim Conley, this is Jim Conley, this is the brother who revealed what happened. Okay. Go back to the picture. Go back to the other ones. Yeah. Jim Conley right there. Y'all see Mary Fagan on the far left. She was raped and murdered by Leo Frank, the so-called Jewish man right there. When it went to court, at least 25 Edomites came out and testified against Leo Frank. Women who worked at the factory and said no. Everyone felt uneasy around Leo Frank because he had a touchy-feely habits. He was a pervert. Leo Frank blamed the Negro. Blame a nigga. Blame a nigga. But in court, it didn't work. White folks lynched Leo Frank. And that's how the ADL was created. Give me the next.